Welcome back to my HTML beginner friendly series. In this video, we're going to create our project folder and then organize our files. When you are building your website, you are building it inside a folder called project folder. Enough of the talking, let's go ahead and see how that is done. So to begin, you need to create a folder. So I would right click and then go to add new, and then I'll click on new folder. First, I need to give my project a name. In this case, I will name it new site and hit enter. Go ahead and double click on your folder to open it. Now, this is where you're going to be arranging or creating subfolders. The first folder I'm going to create is a folder for my images. It is a good practice to organize your project, okay? So right click and then click on new and new folder. This folder, let's name it image. Go ahead and create your second folder. This time, I'm going to name it CSS because your website will definitely have a CSS folder with a CSS file inside it. Next, I need to create a JavaScript folder. So I'll click on new folder and then put JS. Perfect. Now we need to create our actual index.html file. For now, I've not explained to you what this file is, but let's just go ahead and create it. I'll be explaining what this file is. So right click on any empty space and then new and go to text document. Give it a name, index.html. Hit enter. Now, if you have other pages you would want to add to your website, go ahead and do the same thing. So let's continue. So this is only to show you how you arrange your files. Go to new and then click on text document. This time, about, okay, .html. And that is enough. I have 3 subfolders with 2 files. Right after creating your subfolders and your files, go ahead and open your text or your code editor, which is Visual Studio Code in our case. So I'll click on Visual Studio Code and then open it. Once the program is open, this is Visual Studio Code. The next thing you do is you click on open folder. So there are 2 ways to import your project folder onto this program, which is Visual Studio Code. One is to drag it. So you can go to your desktop and then you simply drag your project folder and then you simply drop it here. You drop it there. So that's the first way, or number 1 way of doing it. The second way to open your folder is to click on open folder and then go to wherever you have your folder, so desktop, and then I'll simply search for my project folder, which is new site. After that, I'll click on select folder and your project will be imported to this program called Visual Studio Code. So let's wait for it to load. And as you can see, this is your project folder with the subfolders and with your files. But these files are invalid because we have .txt extension attached. So to make this correction, just click on it and then press F2 to rename it. Or you right click on it and then rename it. In this case, we want to remove the .txt and leave it as .html. Hit enter. Let's do the same thing to our index file. So you just click on it and hit F2. This case, we want to remove .txt and leave it as .html. Now let me explain to you what index.html file does on your web server or after uploading it. Index.html is a special file which is rendered as the home page of your website. So your web browser will treat this index.html file as the home page. So immediately after uploading your project folder to your server, automatically this file will be rendered and this is going to be your home page. I hope that is explained well. I want to show you a different way to start your project. So first, open your Visual Studio Code and then go back to desktop and create your folder. In this case, I'm going to use my exact folder, the folder I created, but let me open it so that you see that it's empty. Now let's go back there. I'll simply drag this folder to my Visual Studio Code and then I'll drop it here. Now I'll click on Don't Save. Perfect. Here is my folder, my project folder. Make sure this arrow is pointing downwards like this, and then go ahead and click on New Folder. This time I want to give it, so this is going to be my subfolder for what? Images. So I'll put image and then hit enter. I'll go back there and click on it. This time I'll click on New Folder and then give it a name, CSS. Hit enter. Go back to your project folder and then click on New Folder. This time name it JS. Hit enter. I'll go back there and click on it. This time I'm going to create my index.html file. So I'll click on New File and then I'll put index.html. Hit enter. Go back to your project folder and then click on New Folder, and this time I'm naming it About or Contact.html. After that, hit enter. Perfect. Now let me take you to desktop and show you what has just happened to our project folder. So let's go back to desktop and then open it. You can see the subfolders and the files we created have reflected. You can see they are here. So whatever you are doing here is reflecting at the back end. I hope it's simple. So that's the second way to start your project. There is yet another way, which is an advanced way of starting your project. This is for real programmers, and I hope you want to also learn it, which is using the terminal. So we're going to use terminal to create our project folder. And that is why I like Visual Studio Code, because it has advanced tools for developers. Let's go ahead and see how we can create or start our project using terminal. Right after launching your program, which is Visual Studio Code, on top you can see terminal. Click on it and then click on New Terminal. Now a window or a section will be open just like this. If you cannot see it, in your case it will be like this. It will be displayed this way. Just click on this line and drag it to the top, to the middle, where you feel comfortable. Now, right now, it is showing you the path, the current path it is. But first, we need to access our desktop, okay? Because we want to create our project folder on our desktop. To do so, you need to cdn into your desktop. So cd means to change directory, meaning you're going to change your path to desktop. So just put cd desktop and hit enter. Right after doing that, you see that your path has changed to desktop. Right now, you're communicating with your desktop. Next, we need to create our folder. In order to create your folder with terminal, there's a command called mkdir, which is mkdir. After that, enter your project name. This time, I want to enter my project name, which is solo code, and then hit enter. So this command mkdir means you're going to create a new folder called solo code. So let's hit enter, and that folder has been created. You can see that it means it has been created. You can see that. But still, we are still on the desktop. We want to access, or we want to go into our our folder, our newly created folder. In order to access your folder, you need to cd into the folder. So you are going to change directory. So cd into solo code. So we are changing a directory into solo code, which is we are changing a directory, which is the path, to solo code, and hit enter. Right now, you are not on desktop again. You are now inside a folder called solo code. Right, you are there. Let's create our subfolders. But first, I want to make sure it is clear, you are seeing it properly. So I'll type a command called clear so that you'll be able to see, and hit enter. Right after I do that, my code is cleared, and now you can see it. But take note, we are still inside our project folder, which is solo code. Let's go ahead and make a directory. So make dir, and then we'll give it a subfolder, which is css. Hit enter. We have created our subfolder, which is css folder. Let's create our JavaScript folder. So we'll do the same thing, make dir, and then we enter JS. Hit enter. Good job. Our second folder has just been created. But right now we can't see the command line. So we need to clear. So enter a command called clear, clear, and hit enter. Right now we have two folders created, subfolders created inside or living inside solo code. There's yet one folder we have not created yet, which is, so we put make dir and guess it, images folder. So img, and then I'll hit enter. Fantastic. Now we have three folders living inside solo code. To access these folders or to list them, you need to enter a command called ls, meaning we're going to list the folders or the items that are inside solo code. After typing ls, hit enter, and you can see these are the three folders we just created. You can see that. Now we are done creating our folders. I want to close this terminal. There are two ways to end your terminal. You can click on this close panel thing to close it. But because we are developers, I would like to show you an advanced way. First, let me copy my code so you'll be able to see the next code I'll be entering. After entering the command clear, hit enter, and then we are brought to a line like this. This is our directory. In order to end your terminal, just type exit, EXIT, and hit enter, and your command line is terminated. In order to prove to you that it actually worked, let's go back to our desktop, and then let's see if we'll get a folder called solo code, and there is it. You see that it's here. Let's double click, and you can see this, or these are our folders. Now we need to import this folder to our project or our code editor, which is Visual Studio Code. So to do so, make sure you open your Visual Studio Code like this, and then go back to desktop, and then drag it to your Visual Studio Code, and then drop it here. Go ahead and click on don't save, and wait. Okay, perfect. And as you can see, everything is working fine, except we need our index.html file. So just click on your project folder and click on new file and name it index.html and hit enter. And that is it. So this is the third way starting your project. I hope you have learned some valuable lessons out of this video. I'll see you in my next lesson, where I'll be taking you through the basic file structure of HTML document. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll catch you on my next video.